It sounds like your consciousness jumped to 3 different timelines / parallel universes and settled on the one with the most favorable outcome. So I don't think this is a glitch in the Matrix.
I don't think so either.
This is definitely just unusual and probably just a playful little spirit. It went on for a while and was kind of distracting, so I thought I'd pop in to say hi and see what he was working on. The sounds naturally got louder as I approached the door.
Which would make sense.
Yes, but as I opened the door, the best way I can describe what happened was that all the sounds seemed to swiftly get sucked into a vacuum. Well, welcome back, everyone.
Hello, hello.
This is the Munch Corner. If you have not seen us before, we are a husband and wife bringing you entertainment.
And hopefully something that will help a little bit. So if it's stories that make a difference in your life, we are very happy for that.
Well, something you might have experienced as well, and things you might want to share. So before we continue, please, most of our audience are not subscribed. So please, if you want to continue seeing videos like this.
And before you subscribe, I'm Omar, one of your hosts, and this is my beautiful wife, Savannah.
I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
Jumping the gun. It's good. I like that. You're keeping right on top of everything. So we love being here, but okay, now you go ahead. Go.
Okay, well, we're bringing you the strange and unusual. We've covered a few topics like this, but today in particular, I think we have probably one that's probably going to be our most intense and strangest one yet.
Okay.
That is the second last story, so hang in there.
So hang in there.
Let's see what we're going to be drinking because we have this covered over here.
We have this covered over here for a reason. So for those of you that haven't really followed us, we love having different kinds of teas.
Okay.
So I did have a request.
You're dragging it out.
I'm dragging it out.
Okay.
We're having our Darjeeling tea.
Okay.
So that's just our traditional tea. But we are not having it in our traditional mugs.
Of course, you got new mugs. Again.
We might have some new mugs.
Okay, let's.
And Savannah's not seen these.
The unveiling, everyone. Oh, they're dragons! No way! Oh my gosh, look at that! If anyone is watching, oh my gosh, hold on.
So I knew this reaction would happen.
Oh, that's crazy!
So these were made by a wonderful artist that is halfway across the world.
Beautiful.
And so I figured this would draw Savannah in. These might be her favorite mugs. We don't know yet.
Oh my gosh, they're stunning.
So I
that
guess
is a nice surprise.
I didn't find out.
Yeah, we're probably going to be running out of space for these things.
We will have to build more.
Oh, right. We need more
solutions,
space.
Right? That's a solution. Well, welcome everybody. We are very much looking forward to hosting you today. And without further ado and distractions from tea and mugs and everything else.
We do like bringing you humor, and we just want to reassure everyone that this is just a fun space for all of us to enjoy, whether you're driving, whether you're running, whatever it is you're doing. We like to join together over here and just have a fun time. So if there's recommendations, please let us know. Let us run into the first story.
Okay, you have me very curious.
A strange one.
Okay.
So glitch in the toilet, literally. So I don't know if anyone's experienced a glitch in the toilet.
I think there could be a lot of different things that happen there, but a glitch is not one of them that I would have thought about.
All right, let's see what we have over here.
Got.
Okay, this is either a very strange glitch in the Matrix or a ghost with a very great sense of humor.
And everything is still revolving around.
Very strange and
very
unusual.
Strange. Okay.
So let us see here. Let me make sure I do not have a little strap hanging out over here.
You got it.
There you go. Okay. I got it. Thank you. So it happened a few years ago. I was home alone, sitting in the bathroom doing my business, as we all do, and scrolling on my phone.
Oh, that is so typical. Okay.
What else are you going to do? Stare at the wall. Suddenly, I heard a strange noise. It sounded exactly like paper ripping. I got confused and looked around and saw the toilet paper roll hanging there with only the very last piece still attached. The only thing that's basically glued to the roll. So the very last little bit.
It's good to know. That's not a good position to be in, by the way. That's
no, because so you could need more than that.
Hopefully there's
you
a
should
spare.
have one on standby.
Yeah, have one on standby, exactly.
The roll was spinning super slowly, and the paper was ripping off by itself.
Somebody's helping you.
You could actually see it happening. And here it's separating.
Everything's in slow motion. I can already see where this is happening.
It was a small bathroom with a broken ventilator and no windows. So there was no draft. And even if there was, it wouldn't be strong enough to rip it off like that.
Not last I checked. I don't think the wind can actually do that.
Especially like spinning it like that. Come on. So after I noticed it, the roll suddenly started shaking violently on the holder. I just stayed holding my phone, so I should record it. And the second I opened my camera, it stopped.
Of course it does.
Yeah. But the way it stopped was so sudden and aggressive, like someone grabbed it and it froze. I didn't even manage to point my phone at it. I wasn't scared at all, just very surprised and confused. I was so surprised that I forgot to realize I had just run out of toilet paper too. So this is what we were telling you.
We knew this was coming. That part of it was.
You need to make sure there's always an extra roll of toilet paper wherever you are. So I don't think this is a glitch in the matrix.
I don't think so either.
This is definitely just unusual and probably just a playful little spirit.
Yeah, but the feeling crowded in that very small space when you're doing your business is not such the greatest thing in the world.
You can imagine two people trying to be in there, right?
Yeah, no. Most places are a little more confined than that, so it's harder to do that. So
my, it clearly seems like this thing's got a thing for toilet paper.
Maybe it's a cat spirit.
That's actually such a cool thought.
I think, as you guys probably know, if you've ever had a cat, once they figure out that they can unroll the toilet paper roll,
then you need to change the position.
You got to change the position the other way. Otherwise, they haven't figured out how to do it the other way. But I wouldn't put that past cats. Cats are very smart. However, that being the case, it probably might be a little cat spirit that's running around thinking this could be fun. So,
I didn't want to be recorded. I have to give you that much.
Which spirits do. It's much better if the stories are told where you don't really know the answer and you are still looking for everything. Because you're always going to get the skeptics.
Oh, but you know what? It's actually, I can imagine how cool it would be to experience something like that. Except now you're in the situation where you don't have toilet paper. Now you got to figure that one out.
Well, the real horror would have been running out, right? But we're not. That's so funny that the actual author of this was more concerned about everything else. And then the moment at the end was like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm not worried about somebody sharing my little space in that intimate, spot where you kind of want your own privacy. No, that wasn't the first thing. The last thing was like, I ran out.
Well, it's pretty funny.
I think that's a humorous
Imagine that story telling your friends and family about that.
But it would be fun if that little playful, we'll call it a cat spirit because it feels like it would stay there and continue having fun. And even better, if guests come over, they mess with the guests too. I think that would be a very playful
They don't
cat.
mention if they're in a public bathroom. I'm gathering they're in their own.
Yeah, I think from what I've been able to kind of figure out, it's probably a private space. But I love this one. This one's really, really cute. And believe it or not, we do believe that animals can have very playful spirits. And I think messing with their humans or other humans that they know, we definitely feel like they would do that.
They like letting people know that they're around.
Yes.
It's interesting to see what they choose to do to let you know.
Yes, I agree. Well, that was a very cute one. That's a great starting one.
So let's move on to a glitch in the garage.
Everyone has a garage problem, so this is going to be kind of fun.
We've covered a garage story before, so I'm very curious to see what this one is. So I've been thinking about an incident that happened about a decade ago and felt compelled to post it here. By the way, everything is posted in the Glitch in the Matrix subreddit post, if you guys ever want to check it out. No credit over here. So I had recently moved back to my parents' house. I was in a little apartment they had converted from. It was a little apartment that they converted from part of the garage. It had its own entrance and it's separated from the main house by the actual garage. So I had access to this garage through a door at the back of my closet. Okay. So it's like a little built-in apartment to the house.
Yeah. Okay.
My dad was a big handyman and was often found in the garage working on all sorts of projects. This particular day, I was in the apartment and heard him working in there. I heard sawing, the sound of items clinking against the workbench, hammering, things like that. It went on for a while and was kind of distracting, so I thought I'd pop in to say hi and see what he was working on. The sounds naturally got louder as I approached the door.
Which would make sense.
Yes, but as I opened the door, the best way I can describe what happened was that all the sound seemed to swiftly get sucked into a vacuum.
Okay, all right.
It ended up being more than quiet, if that makes sense.
That could be. I mean, if an audience has ever experienced a space that is abnormally quiet,
yeah.
I think
it's like you should hear something, like the wind. You should hear.
I remember being in some places like that, and you automatically notice them because
you're not used to that.
There's always some kind of an ambient noise in the background. Not that we're like large fans of all the the noises we typically hear in neighborhoods, or around businesses or anything else. But I've been in certain places, usually in nature, where you can feel. I think my best spot is Scotland. So obviously there's the winds, but you're in an area that is absolutely still. And when the winds stop, it's like
this high alert of quietness.
It's a high alert of quietness. Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be interesting.
So all the lights were off. The workbench was tidy. The main garage door was closed. I was shocked, but thought Dad must have somehow run back into the house.
Yes.
I'm sure he'd be playing that game with you. So, except that when I went into the house, my mom was watching TV and my dad was asleep in the chair.
He was faking it.
That's a lot of effort to go through. So my mom asked, "What on earth were you working on in the garage?"
Oh.
After I explained what I'm getting goosebumps. I'm sorry. I always let everyone know when I get goosebumps. I want to share this with you. After I explained what I had experienced, we were completely freaked out. I have no idea what that could have been. Anyone else have a similar experience?
So we have a shared experience here, which makes it much more compelling, right? I mean, so you have
an alternate reality.
So the dad is out. He's like, and he's zoning out. So there's nothing. He's not there. So
this is like a space where the dad was busy, probably a different day, but reoccurring in that same day.
So remember, we've talked about the idea of an echo, kind of like in the Matrix, this sort of thing.
Like this is a loophole.
This is what it kind of reminds me of. It's like an echo of an experience that's happened, and the energy still stays there. But the question is why? Because that's certainly something that was very familiar to the author.
It's a glitch. What can I say?
That definitely qualifies in the glitch category. And for those of you out there that sort of experience that, it sort of really messes with your mind because you can't quite figure it out. But the sounds are normal and expected, but yet it's very different.
Do you want to hear commentary from?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
So sounds like residual energy from a time your dad was in fact using his tools. And a person responding to that was, I toyed with a wild theory that maybe some materials under the right conditions could record sounds and then play them back.
The right conditions would record the sounds
and then play them back. But it's definitely residual energies pulling through.
I think that's the consensus that we're definitely seeing that. So for those of you that have experienced that, we always would welcome you sharing our experiences, your experiences out there. And then we obviously will share the ones that we know about. I have not experienced that part. As many times as I've seen other things, that's not one of them. But it would be very interesting to see that. There are times, I will tell you, that I hear certain things in the house, but nothing is going on. So it always makes me kind of wonder, did I really hear that? But it's usually like a single sound, right? It's not this whole...
It's not this long reoccurring thing.
Reoccurring thing where you have like power tools that you can understand, you can hear.
And there's been a few moments where I have too, but you kind of, it's a little bit and not enough to kind of let your alarm bells go off.
Yeah,
just ignore it.
You have to think there's some kind of a rational explanation, especially if it's a single kind of sound that you hear and you have to say, I need to hear that again. But when it's this whole other thing, this is very interesting. I wonder if they ever came down to an explanation as to why, but that does sound like the residual energy. I don't know how that works, but it certainly makes me curious enough to want to research it.
Amazing. I'm glad we could actually find that story and read it. So let's move on to another one. So something strange happened when my daughter came home from school.
Okay.
So just had a strange thing happen and not sure what to think of it. Yesterday afternoon, I was doing a few dishes and then headed outside to put away my Christmas decorations. While I was doing the dishes, my daughter came home from school, and just like every other day, she came in the kitchen and I asked her how school was, and she said it was good, and then I watched her walk away and head upstairs to her room.
Okay.
I even heard her close her door. So I grabbed my boxes and headed outside. As soon as I got outside, I put the boxes down and I looked up, and my daughter was coming up the driveway. I thought it was strange. I asked her where she was, that she may have went next door for a second or something, and she looked at me like I was crazy and said, I was at school. I told her I'm confused because she just came in the house and I was talking to her. She said, no, I just got home. She then rolled her eyes and chuckled as she walked away, now definitely thinking her mother is nuts. But I know 100% I saw her and spoke to her, so I'm completely confused.
Yeah, I can already imagine this expression. And I'm guessing that she's probably a teenager, would be my guess, just about that age, kind of coming back from school separately as opposed to being picked up. But yes, I can imagine it's like, oh, my parents are already crazy. Now I'm going to start. They've just added more to this.
Yeah, this is tying exactly into the previous story.
It is.
Yes.
So, but this time it is almost like a precursor energy that's happening, right? So she's come home. She's come home already. Her energy has moved forward, and then she's actually showing up right afterwards. But that's actually fascinating. I think. I mean, it's like I would love to ask questions to this author, like, was she wearing the same thing? So if she's wearing the same thing that she wore that day, and she came, basically.
Well, she didn't point it out, so she might have been wearing.
Yeah, but these are the things I automatically start thinking about, like from a little detective side, when you want to try to figure this out.
That child probably thinks the mother's crazy. Now.
Well, I
you gave her every validation she needed.
She just received the validation she's always thought was real. And now it's like, yeah, it's really real. My mom is nuts. So, and that's unfortunately, I think a lot of teenagers feel that way too. So I'm just assuming that, but that's an interesting one. I wonder if it happened again and what the circumstances were.
Well, this was posted a week ago. So if we ever want to follow up on people's stories, we can definitely do that. I never got a response from our previous one. We said we'd update you guys on, but.
Yeah, and we understand that we may not always hear back, but we love sharing these things with you. But it's like for us, and maybe for some of you out there, you want to know more. And this is one of those ones where it's like, I want to know more. I want to know more about the circumstances. I want to know more about, the relationship with the daughter, and then it makes you kind of wonder. So there's this energy thing, right? I mean, so there's this part of me that says, is there
projection as well?
Is there something within either one of the two of them, right, or even both of them, that connect at an energy level that's very different? So this may not be as much a glitch in the matrix as much as it might be more of who they are. Because I think truly we have beautiful gifts within us. And I think some people are very adept at tapping into those.
It ties into like manifestation and
everything else.
And materializing it.
Right. And the hard part about this, I mean, for those of you out there, I have a very, very open mind. I know Savannah does too. But there are portions of us that really feel a little skeptical. And it's not because...
I think it's human nature to be skeptical.
Yes, it is. But even for those of us who are more open to it, the skeptical part for me doesn't come from that it's possible. The skeptical part of me comes from the fact that there are certain people that will insinuate and share that they are the one, kind of, they have this gift, but you can't really tell if they're making it up or not. That's the skeptical part. Not that the gift doesn't exist. It's just that somebody actually wants to try to utilize it.
I think it happens to people which you would least slightly expect it.
I do too, and I think
not necessarily looking for it. I think if you go looking for something in particular, you're not necessarily going to find it. And when you stop looking, you find yourself, oh gosh, experiencing these things that you're looking for.
So one of the things I've learned with myself is, and looking at this and being open to it, the best way I'm able to read that situation would be to be in their presence when they explain it, right? So if you see somebody explaining something in a certain way, there's your intuition that actually kicks in. And so for me, for example, I can trust my own intuition enough that I can actually tell if somebody's making something up. And part of it is, to me, these are beautiful gifts. If you have them and you're blessed to have them, or you recognize that you do, I think we all do to some greater or lesser extent, is the idea that if you're sharing them, but those who outwardly try to project them, that's almost like you're trying to look at me, get this attention. Those are the ones that I become very skeptical about.
You mentioned someone being in the presence of someone relaying a story that they had experienced.
Yes.
And I think if you're with someone relaying an experience which is very much authentic, there's probably residual energy that you're taking from this person's story. And I think that can definitely basically affect the listener listening to the story. Because I think energy, as we know, is ever moving and ever flowing. It doesn't, you can't break it down.
And then time and space doesn't matter too, I think. Do you remember, I think, sharing an experience for us, this is when we were 10,000 miles apart, but there were times where I could feel something, from Savannah
was wrong. And you'd contact me.
And I would contact her, and there was something wrong. I mean, I wouldn't say it was necessarily, the end of the world kind of wrong, but it was enough of an energy projection from Savannah's side that I picked up on, and I felt like I do need to call her. So I think that's part of this, and I love this part because this shows how interconnected we can be. So, very nice.
So we did not give a warning to our audience in the beginning about a bit of a harder story that we're going to be touching on right now.
Okay, let's do it.
So this, it is about someone basically being amputated. So if it's a soft topic, please don't listen to this one. So the title is "I was maimed in an accident but turned out intact."
So yeah, so I think they're pre-warning if this is
if it's a
concern
topic
for you, then yeah, well,
okay.
Just zip on to the next one.
We don't want anyone to be uncomfortable, but it seemed interesting enough that we wanted to include it. So 4 years ago, I was driving from a job site late one night. It was a 2.5-hour drive back to the shop. I vividly remember being pulled over, a deputy walking up to my window, and then waking up briefly, looking down, seeing them cut my pants off, and looking at my left arm, and it was completely missing with a tourniquet on.
Oh,
this is a lot happening very, very quickly.
Yes.
So they remember waking up. So they don't remember.
They remember the officer, or they don't remember the rest of it?
Well, they just said, I remember being pulled over, a deputy walking up to my window, and then waking up briefly.
Yeah, I think that means that something happened during that moment. I mean, probably like another car hit them or something like that.
Looking at my left arm, and it was completely missing with a tourniquet on. I even remember the intense pain of the tourniquet being torqued down.
Yeah, so just basically
yeah. I'm trying to think of the tourniquet. So tight on my upper arm. Next thing I know, I come into an ICU, and my brother and father are sitting there. I try to speak, but I have a tube down my throat, and immediately look to my arm, thinking it's gone. But nope, it's there. I move my hands, trying to make sense of what happened, and nothing makes any sense. Supposedly, the events of the night transpired like this. According to the police report, I was driving on an old highway where the speed limit was 65 miles per hour. It was around some old mines taking back roads home, so there are no street lights or anything like that. I supposedly was traveling 65 to 70 miles per hour, and a drunk driver had passed out and left his truck sitting in the middle of the road with no lights on. I had hit him. I'm going 65 to 70, then airlifted and intubated.
Okay. That's putting the tube straight down. So basically, they airlifted him because of the car accident.
That was very quick. Okay.
And they flew, and they basically took him to the hospital.
So I don't know what happened to him, but I walked away with a broken collarbone, tailbone, and 2 ribs, along with a nasty bruise from the seatbelt. The work truck was completely annihilated, but nothing happened to my arm. So here's where it gets weird.
I thought it was already weird.
It's very weird.
Let's see where it's going.
I have this ultra vivid recollection of being pulled over by a cop, flashing lights, rolling my window down, and then waking up briefly in a helicopter and seeing my arm gone and feeling excruciating pain from the tourniquet. And then I wake up and supposedly was never pulled over by any deputies in the area, and I didn't lose an arm. I know the brain is a funny thing, and I know that we can essentially completely block things out, but to fabricate an experience like getting pulled over and losing an arm, the events of that night are still very strange to me, given how bad the wreck was. I realistically should be dead. Did I jump timelines, hop to a different parallel universe, completely lose my mind, and make something up that didn't happen? Only problem is, of everything I remember that night, seeing my arm missing and the intense pain from the tourniquet and the cop are the only things I vividly remember. Everything else is completely erased from my memory. In fact, the only thing I remember before the accident and the cop was pulling out of the job site from the moment I pulled out until the moment I woke up in the hospital. It's all gone. Is this a glitch or is it my brain acting funny as a result of trauma?
I'm going to probably lean towards the latter rather than the glitch. And for the most part, I mean, I didn't share this with Savannah, but about 5 or 6 days ago when I came back from work, I go down a stretch of a road that really doesn't have very much light. And there was somebody, it was a homeless person that was like right next to the shoulder. I didn't see them until I was right by them. So you can get startled so incredibly. And it shook me up a little bit because, like, if that person had stepped out on the roadway, I would have hit him. But you're not expecting to see that. I mean, so obviously for those people out there that love to run at night or whatever it is, please put on lights. I know this homeless person would not have done that, but you can imagine that in that moment, there are certain things that are connecting for the person in the accident. One is obviously the pain of the accident, so the impact would have definitely been a shock effect, right? You have a lack of light around, so it's really hard to see different things. You can get startled. And then your brain takes this beautiful step, but it's also one that protects you by blocking out things. And I think that's the processing.
That's the adrenaline.
It's the adrenaline, but it's also the trauma. So the part that I can't quite explain, I think all the other parts make sense to me, is the amputation of the arm, or the fact that he felt that specific thing. Unless he has seen or experienced that, I think that's going to be the tough part. However, I'm sure in the moment of him being airlifted out of that location and being intubated, and his consciousness going back in, and the adrenaline, the shock, all these things are kind of coming in. I'm positive he saw a police officer with the lights and everything else. And oftentimes when we connect things like police officers and lights, it's usually for a traffic stop. So to me, it wouldn't surprise me if his mind put having the lights come to the accident, so he's seeing lights of the police officer, as a connection with like being pulled over for traffic stopping. So I think that's where the brain sort of comes back in and helps you deal with the trauma and sort of, I wouldn't say covers it up, but prevents you from maybe re-experiencing some of it. It's just the arm part that throws me off.
I have very thankfully never experienced a near-death situation, but I was in a car accident when I was pregnant with our daughter, which really obviously was very unsettling for me. So I understand how time feels in a moment like that. And the adrenaline really keeps you going, and you don't think about anything else. So it's definitely, I think, a human survival mode that we hit. Someone else over here has a different theory. So opposite of what you're basically saying.
Okay, let's see what it is.
So it sounds like your consciousness jumped to 3 different timelines / parallel universes and settled on the one with the most favorable outcome. So the person responded back to this person.
Okay.
And said, the sheer thought of that being possible is both terrifying and exciting. I'm left with remnants of the whole ordeal. Like in my head, I can remember what it feels like to have a tourniquet on, even though I've, according to this reality, never had a tourniquet on. But to be able to pick and choose timelines / parallels is an insane concept that is beyond fascinating to think about. So Omar and I, we have not yet done a video on this, and we promise that we will. We do believe in past lives. So
that is going to be coming up.
And this is something where if you have an unexplainable fear of something, or have this weird memory or sensation that it wasn't possible to have experienced this life, we strongly feel that it's a recollection or memory of a past life that you've lived. So like Omar, if you don't mind me sharing.
I don't know what you're going to share. I'm afraid right now. Yes, please share.
Omar does have a fear of falling, but from from at least from this lifetime, he cannot recall why. So this is something that is tied to.
Yeah, Savannah's right. I mean, it's for me. I didn't experience any trauma where I had a bad fall at one time, but I've realized it's not a fear of heights because I don't mind climbing to heights. It's a fear of falling, which is, I think, a little bit different. I know it's a fine nuance, but Savannah's absolutely right. And there are other things, and that we'll, I think, cover in a separate episode that will deal with some of these memories and how they might be woven in from maybe a past life.
So if I'm maybe giving a different perspective than Omar, maybe in seeing these lights, this took him back to maybe something that he had experienced, having a tourniquet on, experiencing that pain. There have been situations where, or stories that I can hear. Yes, I'm very empathic, so I need to kind of be able to differentiate, am I being empathic or am I really being able to share this experience that I personally had myself? That if I hear someone telling a story or see something happen, there's this huge well up of emotion, whether or not it's empathy or something I've experienced myself. This could be something that this person, the lights triggered and the specific lighting and situation was in triggered this memory, this long lost memory, maybe not in this lifetime. That
you do bring up a good point. So, I mean, I want to play on it just a little bit without necessarily the past life component, but with the being empathic part. One thing that I do know that you have as part of being
empathic. Are you going to share it? I was going to leave it for a dream episode if you want to share.
No. We'll leave it for the dream episode. This is just Savannah and I both have a sense of being empathic, which means we can tap into energy around us and understand it and feel it and connect with it, even if it's not experienced by us directly. So, but you brought up an interesting point. What we don't know in this story, and it would be interesting to find out, is what about the other person that was involved in the accident? So definitely a high speed impact collision, right, between two vehicles. We know what the authors shared with us, right? So in their experience about, feeling like they were maimed, but they weren't.
Didn't he say that the other person was lifted into a helicopter?
Well,
and that maybe he was experiencing the other person.
Yes, and that's the part we don't know. And so these are like
I
for
can
us.
find out. This was posted 2 weeks ago, so I can see if I can reach out to them.
And we might be able to see that might be the connecting piece to it. I'm not negating the response that was given about jumping through parallel timelines. Savannah and I have a fascination with how timelines come together, and if you've ever looked at the idea of what's the term is the butterfly effect, which is butterfly flaps its little wings on one side of the world and then there's a hurricane somewhere else because it's all interconnected. So I don't think I would negate that as an idea completely, but it definitely leaves a lot of open-ended questions. And certainly you want to investigate more. So maybe if we can find out a bit more, we can come back.
I will investigate. Okay. I promise. I'll put my investigation hat on.
This is a very, very interesting one.
So we'll end on a bit of a softer note if you're still sticking with us. So I only own one pair of these pants.
And that's most of us, right? We only have one.
So it's pretty funny. We covered a sock story in one of our previous episodes. So
yeah, the sock story was actually really funny. So let's see how this one turns out.
So this person starts off with, I wish this community allowed pictures because this is so minor but so weird, and I feel like the real impact is seeing it. So I know it's pretty standard, but I can never get it to work for me. La la la. So they wish they could show the picture of the pants that they're referring to. Anyway. I own one pair of fuzzy red and black checkered pajama pants. I've owned them. Very specific. Yes, okay. I've owned them for probably 5 to 10 years. So they're not soft anymore. They're that rough, that pulled feather feeling.
Yeah, that's
that they get after a million washes. So they're distinct because they had a red drawstring that has faded to a more pink color now.
Okay.
I'm wearing them right now and putting away clean laundry. And lo and behold, the exact same pair of pants is also in the clean laundry pile. I mean, exact. The tag is faded and curled. The drawstring is faded pink. The fabric is rough from years of being washed. They are the same pants. The logical explanation is that I own two. and forgot. But they're clearly both old. So I think it's a stretch that in 5 to 10 years, I never noticed that I had 2 pairs or saw them both at the same time. All of my pants fit into one small cabinet. I don't own a ton. But just to double check myself, I carried them downstairs, still wearing the other pair, and held them up for my husband. I didn't want to prompt him to agree with me, so I basically just said, "What the hell?" with a laugh. He immediately knew what I was talking about. He said, "Yeah, I was going to ask you when you got a second pair of those pants." Oh, what is your clothing articles duplicating? So I noticed it the other day when you asked me to run upstairs and grab you a pair. So he didn't buy them. And again, these are absolutely not new pants. So if he had it, it would have been ages ago. And I think one of us would have noticed 2 pairs sooner. I'm tempted to test the matrix by putting both pairs into the same load of laundry to see if I get them both back at the end of the cycle.
That is adorable. I think that's so funny.
Oh, so they both definitely thought the other one got
another pair.
But you cannot buy another pair and add 5 to 10 years on it.
No, of course not. But it would have been like she liked it so much she got 2 of them.
So it's the washing machine. There's something that the washing machine does. It's the same with we covered a different story with socks. Packing socks away, same color, bought years ago. It had a specific word on it that couldn't have been a duplicate pair unless it literally replicated.
So be warned, everybody. The washing machines are portals. And sometimes when you throw something in there, you lose it, like socks very often.
Okay, but please, we do actually lose socks.
But where do they go?
To someone else. We swap clothes. You don't even know it.
Through the portal, through another washing machine in a different place.
There we go. You see, we should be putting cameras in these things somehow and watching them.
That's right. You should put on these experiments. I love this thing that they want to come back with an experiment.
You know what? It's hilarious. We had to end on a very good note because, you know what, it is strange. It's unusual, but there are things out there like this, and it makes us chuckle.
So it makes us chuckle. Sometimes those socks actually come back. But no, these red pajamas are going to be a fun one.
Well, duplicating things is something else because, I mean, wow. Clearly, this pair of pants is like a favorite to her.
Well, so, I mean, if it were possible, the sweater that I lost that you gave me.
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
I would love to duplicate that and have that come back.
That would be wonderful.
That'd be right. So it was a special sweater that Savannah got me that got lost in luggage. No, it didn't go through a washing machine and disappear.
Unfortunately. We're waiting for it to reappear. Maybe it might one day.
Maybe it'll show
up through a gift or something.
I know what'll happen. We're going to go traveling one day. And then when we come back and unload the suitcase, it's going to be in there again.
Oh, you know what? Manifestation. Let's all do it. So if you want to manifest something specific, do it. You can project something to materialize.
I think the only thing we can tell this author is enjoy the fact that you have now 2 pairs of your favorite pajamas.
Well, they said they're now going to test it, put them both back into the washing machine and see if they both
see if the portal kind of comes in or goes out. But if not, congratulations, you have 2 of your favorite pairs.
The world is a wonderful place filled with strange and unusual things. Enjoy it. Share experiences with us. We'd love to hear it.
And we want to hear more about yours experiences, and we will share ours.
We will. And we look forward to bringing you dream episodes and past live episodes. So if this is something you're interested in hearing, let us know. We want to mingle and interact with our audience. This is what we're here for.
We want to also make a difference. So you are not alone if you're experiencing these glitches. I think it happens more often than not. And I'm glad that people are speaking up a little bit and sharing kind of who they are and not being afraid.
So maybe if a little bit more time goes by and we build a bit of a community, we can create a bit of a subreddit community.
Yes.
Where we can have people upload their stories and we can just be here chatting about it all.
I like that.
So we are glad to bring you strange, unusual, happy advice. I mean, you name it, put it under the sun. We're here. We'll enjoy it with you. Let's walk through life together.
And let's figure it out together.
This is what we're here for. Live and learn.
So thank you very much for joining us on this episode. And we're looking forward to seeing you on the next. Remember, subscribe and hit the like button. It helps us grow the channel and provide you a lot more great content.
Thank you so much. Until next time. Bye.